Hello everyone. So in this video I'm going to explain what is the use of having synonym and sequence in SAP HANA and how to create those two objects in HANA as well as where we can use those objects. So we'll move to HANA Studio now. So now all the DB objects will be under your schema. So now if you look at your schema, you won't be having you cannot see synonym or sequence folders under your schema now because right now we are in modular perspective. Whatever the objects we are talking about, those are related to database objects. So if you want to see those folders, you have to move to administration console. So how you can move to administration console is you can click on window, open perspective, select other, administration console. Okay. So now if you open your schema, you can see synonyms, you can see sequences, you can see triggers, you can see indexes. So in this video we'll see what is synonym and what is sequence, how to create those objects. So synonym is nothing but creating an alternative name for your main object or for your base object, so that instead of accessing your main object, you can access main object through synonym. Like you are creating one more pointer for your base table. So you can create synonym for your table or for your view or for your procedure, and you can also create synonym for your sequence. So now we'll see what is the syntax to create synonym. So syntax to create synonym is create synonym. Synonym name you have to give. So I'll give emp details. So I'm going to create synonym for my employee info table. So create synonym, spelling is wrong. So synonym employee details for what is your base object. Base object is going to be employee info. You can execute this. Now you can see synonym is created. So if you open your synonym folder, you can see synonym emp details. So the other way is you can also add public. So if you add public here, then this synonym can be accessed by anyone which are having user in HANA DB, but they should have proper authorization on base object on which you have created this synonym. Whereas if you don't mention public, then you have to give a specific authorization to the users on this synonym, otherwise they cannot access that. So once you create a synonym, let's do a select operation. Say select star from this synonym, which will again bring data from your original table. So synonym will not store any data, it's just a runtime structure. So when you execute that particular object, it will bring data from your base table on which you have created that particular synonym. So this is the advantage of having synonym, and you can create synonym on your table or a view, procedure and sequence. So what is sequence? So sequence is kind of a generating a number, generating a unique number in your DB, so that you can use that particular number to insert into tables as a value, or you can also use that as a primary key if you don't have primary key in your existing tables. Let's say I have employee info tables. So we have employee information till employee number 14. Now I want to add one more employee, then definitely the next employee should be from 15. It will not take 14 and below 14 because employee number is a primary key in my table. So now I can add another insert statement saying that 15 comma my employee name, then what is the role of my employee, let's say, then who is the manager. Okay, I'll put my manager number as 9, then when he has joined, let's say he has joined in 2005, then what is the salary, okay, and what is the commission, and who is the manager, I mean what is the department of this particular employee. So instead of manually inserting employee number, I want to use sequence. So how can I use that? So first, to use a sequence we have to create a sequence. So SQL code to create, I mean SQL syntax to create sequence is create sequence. You have to give sequence name. So I'll put employee ID, then starts with, okay, say 15. So now I'll execute this. Sorry, it's not start with, it's start with. Okay, so now you can see sequence has been created. So now if you open your folder, so there will be a lot of system sequences, but you can see our sequence here. Now you don't know, I mean you have not created this sequence, but someone has created. Now you want to see what is the current value of that sequence. So what you can do is you can write a select statement, select sequence name dot curval from dummy. Now if I execute, curval of given sequence is not defined, so it should be okay. Just so soon after creating sequence, we have to set the sequence value by running next val. Next val is a function which gives what is the next value for that particular sequence. So we'll do a select sequence name dot next val from dummy. So now if you execute, so this is the next value for this particular sequence. So now what I'll do is, instead of inserting 15 manually, I'll put employee ID dot current value. Okay, so now I'll insert this record. Okay, so it's insert. Okay. So once we run this, we have to run curval also. So now it's 15. Now if we execute this, it will be executed. Okay, so we have set that particular sequence in this session, not in the earlier session. So we have to run this insert statement here. So now you can see this specific insert statement has been executed. Now if you go and look at your table, say let's go to tables, or instead of that you can do a data preview on your synonym, which brings data from your main table, and you can see the record has been inserted with employee ID 15. So instead of using a schema, instead of using entering values manually, you can also use a sequence to insert continuous numbers. So now if I have to insert 16, what I'll do, I'll take a next value. So the next value is going to be incremental by 1. So now what I'll do, I'll change this to Suresh and I'll insert. So now you can see this particular record also inserted. Now if I refresh here, or if I again right click on my synonym and open data preview, I can see one more record with employee ID 16. So that is how we can use synonym. So say suppose you want to delete data from this specific table. So what you can do, you can use delete from employee info, so which will delete all the data from your table. If you want to delete any specific record, say where EMP name is Suresh, I want to delete this specific record, then you can delete. You can see delete statement has been executed and rows affected 1. So now if you do data preview on your synonym, you won't get a record with employee name Suresh. So that's how you can delete the records. And say I have a employee called Venkatesh where salary is 50,000. Now I want to make it as 60. So what you can do, you can use update, okay, employee info, set salary equal to 60,000 where EMP name is Venkatesh. So now if you execute this one, we have given a wrong spelling, salary, now, oh okay, again spelling wrong. So now you can see update statement has been executed and one record has been affected. So if you do data preview on employee details synonym, you can see for user Venkatesh, salary has been updated to 60,000. So this is how you can make use of delete and update statement. Say you want to delete data and table structure as well from your database. So in that case you can use drop syntax. So drop table name, which deletes table structure as well as data from your database. So in the same way, say suppose whatever we are doing it in our schema. Say suppose you might get a requirement where you want to create few tables in other schema. So how you can create individual schema for you is, you can also create your own schema. So syntax to create schema is create schema name, let's say HANA test owned by user. So you have to give username. Now if you F8, you can see schema has been created. If you refresh your catalog folder, you can see your schema HANA test, where you can also create all tables again, everything. So these are the basic operations that we can do in HANA Studio Thank you for watching.